fabulous you. I'm here with Karima Goodman, the owner of Sweet Brown Sugar in Grayson. So we're going to take some time to just get to know her. So Karima, will you just tell us a little bit about you?
All right. Well, we're going to make it brief. So I've been in the pastry business all of my life, from hotels to cruise ships to running bakery departments at major chains. So I've always done this, but we've owned a bakery since 2016. So it was always on my list. Of course, I waited till I had 2 kids to do it. The most inconvenient time of my life. but we did it. We survived COVID. We've been here for almost 9 years. In this location, we have another location in Loganville. So if you want some lunch, some sweets, check us out.
Yes, the food is amazing. Like, some of my favorite treats are the quiche.
Yes. And not many places have quiche.
Not many places have quiche.
No.
I mean, the red velvet cupcakes are one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
chicken
really
salad is my mom's recipe.
Chicken salad.
Yes, that's
yes.
my mom's recipe. So,
yes.
And you get it on a croissant. So I tried to just do I went to school in France for a little while. So I tried to bring a little of that. Some people, when they come in, they were like, this looks like a French bakery. And I'm like, yeah, that's the world. They look like this where I was from, up north.
Okay.
So this is how, like, they'll have sweet, they'll have savory, we'll have soups, we have salads. So it's not just sweets. You can get some of everything depending on what you like.
That's right. So you can't go wrong. So tell us, you opened Grayson in 2016,
Yes.
and then what was it like just getting started and getting the business running?
So in the beginnings, we first tried to get a food truck. So
Okay.
we brought a food truck. We were like, this is what we're gonna do. And actually, the ladies, I was in a Bible study group because they were pushing me for a year. They pushed me to go, and I was on the edge, as they would say. I was always on the cliff. I never jumped. So one of them lived in Grayson and needed a ride. Which
Okay.
was weird because we were in Grayson, so I'm like, no one else, and I lived the furthest. So she asked for a ride, and she wound up showing me stopping here because the bakery was closed for a couple years. And she said God was at this point screaming at her that this is what I needed to do. And I was like, well, God should have told you.
You didn't tell me.
That I had 2 kids and I had a million things to do. They were in baseball. And I was like, and I got this and I have that, and I had every excuse. But I tell you that it was the easiest thing. The food truck, they were like, we went through hoops and barrels, and it still didn't happen. And then it was simple and easy. So then she was like, I told you God said that it was for you. And so that's how we got here. So thank you, Alyssa.
So God opened the door.
Yes.
And this is where you were meant
That's
to
where
be.
I'm meant to be, yes. And we have been here ever since. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yes. So then how long after did you open Loganville?
So Loganville was supposed to open right before COVID, and then COVID happened. So Loganville technically has only been open 2 years, but it was ready for probably about 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
So we've been here for about 5 years, and then that was sitting there ready. And that was a nightmare, because then we had people who invested in it, and they were like, when you're in open, and I'm like, we went from a staff 9 to a staff of 2. Me and my sister back again. I'm like, there is no way we can split 2 people in that. There is no way. There's no demand for it yet. So we held them off as long as we can, and it panned out. And it's been successful. It was ups and downs. It has ebbs and flows over there. Of course. Yes, because it's just different. It's not a shopping center, it's standalone.
Right.
So when it's busy, and when it's not, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, tell me about the marketing that you do just to get exposure, draw people in.
So the marketing is literally me. I am the marketing team. Yes, it is. I'm on social media. I'm on coming up with ways for marketing. I'm coming up with ways I haven't sang, but it's usually my ideas, and I'm like, guess what we can do?
Yes.
And it's usually me when I am doing things that have not involved the bakery that my brain works the best.
Okay.
I told you I go to Stone Mountain on Sundays.
Yes.
I'm on the mountain, and then it's like, God's like, you know how you can send a lot of emails, and he's just talking to me, and I'm writing it down, but I'm still I'm thinking, I'm writing it down. I always keep my notes open because And I'm like, oh, I can send a blast. Oh, we can do this. Right now we have Ladies Night Out. That is November the 7th, is a Thursday.
Okay.
And the whole shopping center is involved. So we do Ladies Night Out. But we try to, and we do teachers' lunch boxes. So we try to do things that, because if that way when the teachers eat, they're not always live in the town that they're teaching in. So then they take it back to other places, and they're like, no, we really got to try that. We'll get teachers that come in on a Saturday, and then because but they don't live here, so they'll come around on a Saturday and bring people to the neighborhood. Also, and we do a lot of church events. Okay. So that's another way you can get a lot of group people who not always in the same town, but they get together once a week. So we try to do a bunch of things to keep our name out there, to make sure that they taste the product. Because once you taste the product, it speaks for itself. Yes.
It definitely does. So I remember my first client event was here, like in 2017. Yeah. After I had closed some houses, because I started real estate in 2016. And so I invited all my clients here to have a sweet treat, and it was a great event.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people. We have birthday parties here, so we try to get the community involved as well. Yes,
that's awesome. All right, and then the marketing, like I follow you guys on Instagram, and you do a great job. I love seeing the cakes that you design. Yes. So
we try to. That's what I'm saying. And they like to see like certain things. I know what they like. They like to see the inside of the bakeries, because sometimes the people that follow us aren't always customers. Right. So then that gives me ideas of maybe we need to ship the product. So now we're working on those. So there's a lot of things that I'm always trying to work on. Yeah. And also giving people, like I have people who do design. Like she's doing marketing now behind. Like before we left, I'm like, you need to print these out and get this going. Send this email.
Exactly.
Yes. So
it's constant.
Yes.
And hearing you just talking about all the ideas, I feel the same. It's like there's always something going on in your head. Write it down, and then brainstorm and work it.
And try to get back to it when you can get back to it. Yes. And then I also let the customer speak for. They know what they like is in. So then that's what I promote. That's how we started doing sides on Thanksgiving. Okay. One of the customers, I go, what do you eat for Thanksgiving? And I was like, well, collard greens, macaroni, cheese. And then they were like, well, why don't you sell it? Oh. And then 3 years ago we started selling them. So on Thanksgiving, so that's what we do on Taste of Grayson. We let people taste it for you to know. Because everyone, you may be able to make some of the things, but not all of the things.
Exactly. That's perfect.
Yes.
And it's so important to see what do the people want.
Yes, exactly. So I know it's not always about me. I'm like, if they're selling red velvet, then guess what? That's what it's going to be.
Exactly. So do you look at, so red velvet cake was the #1 seller this month, so we're going to make more of that.
Yes, you have to, because it can't always, like sometimes they'll come up with ideas, and I'm like, we tried that didn't work. They didn't want it. I'm like, so we can't, you have to tailor it to what they want.
It's true.
It's not about me.
That's right.
It's not about the cake. I just am the vessel, but that's not about me. Yes.
So that's perfect. We say that in real estate too. It's not about me. Exactly. It's about the client.
You're not living in the house, exactly. So I'm going to give you what you want. That's the same thing. We do the same thing.
That is fantastic. So I know you said events. Ladies' Night is an event. Any other events that you guys going on, or deals or promotions that you're trying to
So
get out
every
there?
Tuesday we do $2 cupcakes, so that's a way for you to try it, and it makes it a little less expensive. We also have them where they come in a pack. The teachers' lunch boxes are always at a discount. All they do is need their Gwinnett County badge. Most of them we know because they come in, or they'll call and you'll see it on the phone. Yeah. And we have teachers' lunch box at least once a week where they also do pay Fridays. Okay. So that once a month when they get paid, then all of them get together and they order a group of lunches. Yes. So sometimes I think a couple times we did the whole school. Okay. It's always that's a lot. From the janitor, that's principal, everybody. So usually they'll do that, like Teacher Appreciation Week. Of course, that's also Mother's Day week. Okay. Graduation. So May is our craziest time of the year. Thanksgiving and May are the craziest time.
So you don't sleep in May or?
No, there's no vacation. There's no sickness. There's no sleep. No.
Oh, that's funny. Yes. All right, so business tips. Yes. I mean, because you are a business owner, and I know your sister. We'll give Danielle props.
Yes, Danielle wasn't here today.
what is your team like? You and your sister's partnership like? And what business tips do you have for other business owners?
So Danielle and I are from two different backgrounds. She's from financial background, so she actually has no experience in the pastry industry, which works out because I didn't have the financial thing. I didn't want anything to do with it. It's a different brain that you're using. It's some side of the brain that you're using.
Yeah.
But she did get sick, which made me have to do all of the other things that she did, which makes me say I don't want to do that. Yes, from the payroll, from the taxes, so all of the things that but the business tip I do have is for small businesses is to stay on it. Like the taxes, all of that little stuff that will get you in another bind, don't do it. Try to do as much. We did when we first opened the fundraiser, and it was so much easier. So we did where we had a bunch of ladies come in, and you had to invite other ladies that didn't know each other.
Okay.
So each group brought in ladies, and we set it up just like almost like a bakery. It was in my living room, and they ordered for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that's how we got the money, besides my mother's seed money, to start the business.
Nice.
We started it with no loans because my sister was she was in finances for 25 years. So she was like, if we do it with no loans, that's gonna be the best plan that you can come up with. Because you don't wanna go into business owing.
Right.
Because the first 6 months, you may not make it.
Right.
You may be paying back. You may not get a paycheck.
That's true.
And not the paycheck you're used to either. It's maybe enough to and then that's what we learned.
That's
no
good.
loans. Try to keep try to spend. You have to spend a lot, but don't spend as much as you're taking home. You have to balance that. So you don't want to where you're overspending or you're not, and you're listening to the customer. So there's a bunch of things. Listen to the customer.
Yes.
Try to be as debt free as you possibly can, because you're going to eventually get credit cards. You're going to be into some debt, but you don't want to start with thousands of dollars or hundred thousands of dollars of business loans. That's what I can't say we had, but we didn't. But she had a financial background. She was a loan officer, from there a bank manager. Okay. So she was like, "We're doing this debt free," and we did.
That's fantastic.
Yes, that's what a lot of people can't say that. So you want to stay as debt free as possible. Yes.
And I love that you had ladies in the community come together to support.
And they did. We set it up. We had a table. They were buying. They were doing everything. And we had chicken salads just for them to try, like just for them to eat while they were eating the desserts. And they were like, "Well, let me order the chicken salad." So a bunch of them ordered trays for a holiday. So their people, they were like, "I don't want them picking on my turkey before Thanksgiving." And they got chicken salad sandwiches. So it was perfect. Yes.
That is perfect.
But that's what we did before we opened.
Well, those are some smart business tips.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything else you want to share?
I would just say you would just have to keep consistent. In this business, you have to listen to the customer and keep your consistency is key.
Yes.
You don't want to change up what you've been doing because you think this is a trend or not a trend. You want to stay in your own lane. I always say stay in your own lane and do what you know best.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, you are such a gifted baker and business owner, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
And y'all come in to Sweet Brown Sugar, get you some savory and sweet.
Yes.
And just enjoy the atmosphere. It is an amazing place to be. I'm Tennille Willison with Keller Williams Realty, creating meaningful relationships through real estate. Have a blessed day.